Well, thank you. Appreciate being here. And first, I'll start off with I am not the sage on the stage. I am doing some research in stakeholder engagement, but there's a lot of expertise and experience in the audience, and as Nick was pointing out, that we'd like to have a lot of discussion. Can you hear me okay in that? No? How about now? Better? Okay. So, as I was saying, I don't see myself as a sage on the stage. There's a lot of experience with stakeholder engagement in the room, and we'll hope that today there's some dialogue, not just with us on the panel, but across the room as well. And perhaps we can stir some really insights. And I'm interested in, as a researcher, my curiosity is to learn from you as well and your experiences. A little bit about myself. Like many of you in the room, I actually grew up in northeast Nebraska myself, Cedar County to be exact. And when I told my mom that I was coming to a conference in Norfolk this week, she said, "Oh, so you'll be staying with me?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'm coming up on a bus with others and won't be able to." And the line went silent for about 30 seconds. So I'll probably have to make up send my mom some flowers or something to do it. So as I said, perhaps why I'm on the stage today is some research that we're doing with a USDA-funded project. We're calling it Water for Ag. The simple title there, just for simplicity, but it's a study. We're studying stakeholder engagement in 3 states: Pennsylvania with Penn State, Nebraska, and then Arizona State and Arizona, which, as you know, I'm sure you know, is they're quite different landscapes, geography, climate, and regulatory settings in 3 states. But we're studying, again, in the same questions in all 3 states. Approaching it from a modified strategic planning process, in the sense that we're going to local areas in Nebraska. It's the North Platte area, Panhandle, and Central Platte area. 2 sites in Pennsylvania and 1 in Arizona. And we're creating what we call local leadership teams of people with stakeholders in water-related interests, bringing them together, a diverse group, trying to, so some of the challenges that you face, we're trying to recreate, is how do you get a diverse group of people in to talk about and engage in water, and giving them the challenge of coming up with an issue that is concern of theirs related to water, and then following that process through with working towards goals of solutions or movement forward on that water issue. And we're on our end of it, we're studying the stakeholders. We're learning from them, because a lot of the questions that you have there, we've heard, how do you get farmers to adopt practices, things like that. We know stakeholder engagement has been preached. We need to do it. It's good, but it's not always successful. Sometimes it fails. Sometimes trust doesn't happen. Sometimes conflict gets worse. So our goal is to study stakeholder engagement and learn what changes with the individuals that participate, what happens to communities, what happens to the environment. If that's ultimately the goal, is some environmental change. What happened with the stakeholder engagement to make that occur. And in the North Platte, somewhat timely that we're there, is that issue that they're focused on there is the tunnel collapse and the need for infrastructure. And so they're looking at identifying infrastructure needs and then what might be the cost of that. So that's the issue that emerged. We didn't go with an issue, and when we first started, the tunnel hadn't collapsed yet, so that kind of fell into their laps. But we're a little bit some of the people out there feel a little bit ahead of the game, in the sense now they had this local leadership team already together with a diverse interest, and then this tunnel collapse happened. In the Central Platte, somewhat surprising to me, in the sense that we didn't steer anything in the issue that bubbled up of most concern to the diverse group of stakeholders there was invasive species and management of Phragmites and flood control issues related to that in the Central Platte area. So that's the issue that bubbled up there, and we're moving forward to their goal is to look into an endowment for regular maintenance. So there's been, maybe some of you know, that there's been a lot of treatment and focus on Phragmites historically, but funding has come and gone, and in the meantime, Phragmites blooms back up after the treatment, and then you're back to square one. So that's an issue that bubbled up there. So we're trying to duplicate in somewhat of a laboratory setting, if you will, stakeholder engagement with a real issue, with real concerns, and study so we can learn a lot more about stakeholder engagement. So with that, a little bit about myself. And again, I don't want to take up more time than we want to have with some discussion. So I think I'll turn it over to